Williams, aka OG Giggity. I'm back. I want to talk about OG Boobie Black, how he did me when I first went to adult jail. So this is a lesson for y'all who listen to this. Let y'all know the crackhead gangs, even your homeboys, play on. Okay, now, I had broke out of juvenile jail in '91, as I talk about in my documentary, so I'm not going to go into too much details about that. Well, I had got caught with a gun. Well, I had got caught in a crackhead car at first with some crack in it. Gave a fake name, got out. I don't want to go too much details. Then I got caught again with a 9mm in my project. Now I was facing a dilemma because the guy at the juvenile place, he already had threatened to beat me and whoop me if I lied to him about who I was. So I always had two dated births, a 1976 and a 1974. Well, Louisiana just passed a law that at 17 you're a juvenile now, but back then at 17 you was an adult. So I went with the 1974, so I wouldn't have to go back to juvenile at the time. So they shot me to the adult jail. I mean HOD, house of detention. Never forget this. Third floor back then was the intake unit. And how it was set up, you had when the man pressed the little key thing, you're gonna pop this iron gate, you're gonna walk in. It's a shower to your right. To the left, you got like 3 phones against the window. You can look out. Some of the jail facing the parking lot, some of them facing the rec yard. So we were facing the rec yard side. We was on that side. And you have 3 10-man cells on this range. You got south side, north side, CLU south side, CLU north side. And like what we have to do is, when we want the deputy, we got the south side deputy, we got to yell for him. So when I come on the range, it's my first time in adult jail. I don't really know the ropes. So having OG Boobie is there. He's in the first cell, which got a 10-man cell. He's in the first cell. They put me in the second cell, 10-man cell. So what we would do, we would sit by the bars on the floor by each other and talk like that. I had this female that used to write me and send me pictures and stuff. And I wasn't good with my penmanship. I wasn't really good writing girl because I'm coming from juvenile, I'm young, you know. So OG Boobie had always had a beautiful handwriting. So the girl would write me, I read the letters. Like, yo, Boobie, here, answer her, respond back to her for me. So he would respond back to her for me. So she would write me back. I read it. Yo, bro, respond back to her for me. He would respond back to her for me. Write me again, read it. Yo, respond back to her for me. And she wrote me again. It was time for me to get moved because they would move me off that floor, put me on another floor. Now, I have to write her back. It's my turn to write back now. So I try to start tracing my alphabets to try to, I ain't had this in prison. I started tracing my alphabets, trying to draw my alphabets to try to match how OG Boobie write, because he had a beautiful handwriting. I couldn't really get it. So I just wrote the girl, I said, listen, man, that was OG Boobie, that was Boobie back then. That was Boobie Black writing for me. You know, I just want to let you know now, because I know you can tell the difference with the handwriting. To my surprise, she write me back. Oh, I know, because he be writing me too. Now, she from out in prison, he been knowing her too, but he didn't have her address because this was my little female friend. But he backdoored me. So that's a lesson learned. Don't never give nobody, your girl, information. Because he played me, man. He got me. I was a fresh fish in jail. I ain't know no better. So he was able to run one on me. You know, it's all good. So, while I was there, I learned how to make what they call holy moly, where they take the bread. Sometimes some people take the bread, let it sit out for a day with it so it can get hard, so you can crumble it better. Or some people just make the bread crumb like that, You take the cookies, take them apart, scrape the cream off them, crush the cookies up. Some guys in Florida, they call them foot cakes because you put the cookies in the bag, you step on them, cook them fine. Or some people like to take some and beat the bag to make the cookies come up to like crumbs, like bread crumbs. You do the cookies the same way. Then you take the cookies in the bread, you put them in the bag together, or on a garbage bag together. You can take coffee, milk, or water, juice, whatever you want to use to wet your cookies and things, but you don't want to wet it too much. You wet it and then you start making the putty, the dough. You start, putting it on, you start doing that, mix it together. Once you got it nice and thick or whatever, nice, then you roll it out. You used to take like a broomstick and we would roll it out like that long, that wide. Some people used to take the cream from the cookies and make a little icing, spread the icing in it, but that evaporates fast because when you warm it. So what I started doing, taking my cream from the cookies, because what we do is when you lay it out about like this long, you're gonna put the cream from the cookies in there. You're gonna crunch up some M&Ms. You rip up some Snicker bars. Some people put Skittles in it. Three Musketeers, Twix, whatever kind of candy you have. Then you take some of the apple pie or the lemon pie filling, spray that in the middle, and then you roll it up like a big wrap. Roll it up tight. You get that in, he get this in, and then you get somebody, you hold your finger on this end of the thing, and you start roll till it gets nice and tight. Once it's nice and tight, you tie this in. In OPP parrot gel, we would take some wires out the ceiling, and we would make a stinger, put it in the socket, put it on some iron, drop it in a bucket to warm our food like that. But some people would do this here, and I did it too. I ate it. So they would clean the toilet out, flush the toilet, flush it a lot, and that's gonna make the water get hot. So they would take that thing I just told you, set that in the water in the toilet, and flush it, the water get hot, and we'll cook warm their food like that in the toilet. Back then. Man, we did some wild stuff that I think about. Or some people would take some aluminum foil and take the toilet paper, make little toilet paper bombs, light it, and then cook over there like that over the thing. But the deputy can smell the smell. So say, we here, I smell y'all cooking back there. So they'll be cooking food like that. I learned the thing how we call picking a blanket, where they would do the bread the same way, crumb the bread, wet it, then mash the bread up, roll it out, put your cheese, your meat, chop up eggs, whatever we had for lunch, whatever, spaghettis or chicken that day, and roll it up like a big burrito, a big wrap, same way, tighten it up, cook it that way too. So, I learned that on my first time going to adult jail. Well, not the jail, our jail, because we the only city that have parish, so it'd be Orleans Parish, whereas like you all would be like such and such county, we have parish. So it was my first time in the Orleans Parish jail, and I had got that experience, and I had, like I say, I was still on the run for juvenile, so by me giving a 1974 date of birth, it made me an adult. So when I went to court, they circled felony. I had a gun case. So they had found out that I was a juvenile, that I was still wanted for juvenile. So when they got ready to ship me back, they had to they brought me over to the juvenile jail. I went to the court, I slept there. So the next day, the man that drove us up to juvenile prison in Baker, Louisiana, up to where Baton Rouge at, he had came, he said, Terrence Williams. I said, yeah, what's up? He said, Daddy, your lucky day. I said, what you talking about? He said, man, the judge released you. I said, I don't have to go up there. He said, no, the judge released you from here because they saw the paperwork and seen that it has felony circle. So once you're a juvenile and you either break out of juvenile jail or you go AWOL from juvenile jail and you catch an adult charge, they're not going to let you back on a juvenile compound. So I escaped that. So I didn't have to go back, but let me hit this thing one more time. I ain't had this in the prison. So anyway, they released me, man. Go home. Went home. That's when I hooked up with Black and Mo. Black and Mo and I hooked up. But that's it for now. I'm gonna cut it right there, because I know you all want some more. So it's all good. One love, tune in, I'm gonna keep them coming, baby. Why, this Terrence Gangster Williams, aka OG Giggity. Today I want to speak on how OG Boobie Black lost his arm. And now that I think about it, he the one gave it a nickname Giggity. There was a hit that was placed out on OG Boobie Black. Back then he was just with Boobie. The two guys that were taking the hit came to me. Now I don't know what gave them the bright idea to think them that I was going to set the homie up. So they was like, look, man, there's a hit out on him, man. Look, let us take care of that. We're going to break you all, da-da-da. So I was like, all right, cool. I go to Boobie. I said, listen, man, two boys back here from out the mouth, they trying to hit you. So Boobie and two more of the homies got together. One had a Mac 90, one had the Mac 11, one had a 9mm Glock. They hiding around a building. Well, the two homies that's taking the hit, the three of us walk into the circle. So they thinking that OG Boobie Black is in the middle of the courtyard on the second floor. So they say, isn't that OG Boobie Black? I was like, yeah, on what? It was lower. I was like, yeah, that's it right there. So they looking, so they got their eyes on, we was in 16 Clara courtyard. So they got their eyes on somebody that's on the second floor in Clara courtyard. All the while, Boobie and two more of the homies is hiding around the building. And you know how you had a project where the lights would go off, then come on, off and on like that? Well, as soon as the lights like went dark in the project, I backed up and walked towards the porch where some of the young homies were at. So I'm like, what's taking y'all so long? You know, I'm like, I'm waiting for Boobie and them to come on and get to work. So the guys get a little nervous and they notice that I done left them standing in this circle by themselves. And the homie's like, man, what them dudes at the mill doing back here? I said, don't worry, they about to get dealt with now. Man, them dudes start walking off. Ooh, they wait till the man get like a good distance from them. They run from behind the building, shooting at these guys. Man, all this high power ammo gun and nobody get hit. So, you know how they say never beat the double cross but the triple cross. Like a day or two later, I get hit up. So right after that, I give Boobie my Mac 11. I said, look, here, put this gun on you while you were in the project. Because he came by me, check on me. I said, yeah, I gave him the Mac 11. They around there having a dice game. They around there shooting dice. I happened to go to Stonehouse or something. I went out at the big homie. And then on my way back to my house, I happened to come to the cut. And when I turn, I come up through the cut through 6th Court, on 6th Court, to turn on Clara, I see Boobie and the homies on his first porch shooting dice. I say, man, why y'all on his first porch? Somebody could spin the bin on you and y'all hit. I say, what a gun did I give you? He say, such and such, what my gun? I say, you get a gun and such and such say, oh, it's in the hallway. I'm like, in the hallway? They got it in the hallway in a little utility box. So I'm like, man, you tripping, man, get that gun. So he got the gun, he give it to Boobie. Boobie put the gun in his waist. I leave. I said, man, get from off this porch. Y'all go in the middle of the courtyard so somebody spin the bin. At least y'all can up or, you know, get some shelter first. I leave, go home, get in the tub. Right, I got a tub. My mother was bandaging me up because I had like, when they cut me open, they let me heal from the inside. So my mother had to put bandage in my wound. So as I'm laying on the bed, she bandaging my wound up. My wall wound, I hear these shots going on. I'm like, oh, mama, that's Boobie getting all that Mac. I'm thinking he working. I'm thinking somebody, you know, that jumped out there. But now we were beefing with two other guys that stayed on the same side of the project with us right down the block that was out for blood. So as I hear the Mac, I'm hearing, not the Mac, I'm just hearing shots go off. After my mother bandaged me up, I get shoot round, no, I call around by a Stone, Killer Stone. I call by Stone, his sister answered the phone. She's deceased now. Wow. She's screaming and hollering on the phone. Oh, they just shot Boobie up. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, Boobie been hit. Let me go around here and check, see what's going on. Get there, he already gone to the hospital. We get to the hospital, I go in the room, he lay in the bed, they got his arm still attached, he still got his arm still there to show he hit up real bad though. So you're like, man, they saying I might have to cut my arm off. I'm like, well man, at least you still got your life, So, but we knew who it was because it's broad daylight. These two guys here that spent the bin on him, it's broad, they got choppers. When I leave to go back to the project, I go get my Mac 11. My Mac 11 got the bullet wound large in there. So as they spent the bin hitting OG Boobie, he fell. And when they went to stand over him to do him, OG Boobie upped the Mac 11. When he upped the Mac 11, that scared the two killers, but they shot the gun and they retreated, they backed up. Because they said, oh, he got a gun, so it kind of shook them a little bit and they jetted on back. So, had OG Boobie. Now, first of all, let me back up. Had I not come through and got on him about getting that gun and putting it back on him, and him upping the gun, we might not have an OG Boobie today, y'all. But so happen we have an OG Boobie Black today. Now, there are more things that go to this story, but I'm not at liberty. I like that. Now, for real, I can't talk about it right now because him getting shot, me getting shot, it all intertwined together, and I got a lot of that in my documentary. I just never mentioned the part about him in my documentary because he had nothing to do with the documentary. I'm telling my story, but I didn't want to. It's a lot of stuff, people that did stuff I didn't want to put in the documentary. But I just had a chance to say this side, what happened because this is dealing with him, But he came through for me. He came through for me like a champ. Let me say this: when I got hit up, he came through for me like a champ. It's gonna be in the documentary. It was some gangster stuff that went down. But that's all I'm gonna give y'all right there. But I want to give y'all some more, but I just can't right now because it's gonna mess up for my documentary. But just stay tuned. It's coming, man. It's coming real soon. Shout out to Truth Be Told Hip Hop. Shout out to Kenny Boo. Boy, we back, baby. We on the map, baby. We back. We shaking back like a 4.5. But at the end of the day, all jokes aside, though, let's help these youngsters out, man. We need the average youth. They need our help. We gotta step up, man. We gotta lead by example. Let's help these children out, man. Much love, peace. I'm out. Terrence Gangsta Williams. Wow. It's Terrence Gangsta Williams, aka OG Giggity. We gonna get into OG Boobie Black. Retaliation is a must. OG Boobie Black and I were in Stone Black Bravado with the gold package on that thing. We had got word that the guys that shot him was hiding out in Carrollton in the 17th Ward. OG Boobie Black had a Mac 90 on his lap with his left hand on it, and I had a 9 Glock in my lap. So as we riding up Carrollton Avenue, he spotted the car, but they're on the opposite side. Now I had to go down the block, then turn to go around to come up to get to them. By that time they was gone. We had lost them.
So he like, man, if I was driving, I would have drove across the neutral ground, because like in New Orleans we have this neutral ground where the street cars could pass, but you got the neutral ground with the grade, you know, to divide the avenue. So he upset, he want me to drive all across that and roll all over. I'm like, man, I'm not doing all that. We got guns in this car, broad daylight. It's not gonna happen. So, you know, he ticked off that he didn't got away. And I understand his frustration because, you know, he still got the bandage on him, you know, still in pain, but he ready to work. So, you know, later on that day, we go downtown, he make a few stops, pick up money, people that owe him his money and stuff. You know, he's running a few shops here and there. People, you know, making his little moves. So as we head back uptown, we coming down over the bridge, the overpass on Claiborne and Martin Luther King. I stop at the red light, and I look over to the left, I see the station wagon. I said, boy, look. So he look over, he excited, and I'm like, come on now, we got him now. We drive down, turn left, come around, come back up Claiborne, then I pull over and go in the gas station. Back then there was a gas station that was right across the street from Church's Chicken. But the station wagon was parked in Church's Chicken. I tell Boobie, I throw the car in park, the SUV in park, I turned the car off because I need to see this work. I tell him, but it don't make sense to bring the Mac 90 here, take the handgun. He jump out, you know, y'all know the look he be having on his face. He walk across the street. By this time, like I said, it's dark. You know, not dark, you know, it's not kind of nighttime though. So he walk across the street to the car. He raised his hand up to the window. I'm like, oh, it's about to go down. He about to work. As he raised his hand to the window, he look in the window. He drop his hand back down. And he turn around, walk back to the ride, jump in, grab the Mac. He passed me back the 9, put it back on my lap. He take the Mac 9 and put it between his leg and had a barrel pointed to the floor of the SUV. So I don't say nothing, you know, he mean muggy, looking straight ahead. I crank up, we go down Felicity, come around, go through Willow, come down go up Willow Street. When we get to Willow and Jackson, I stop at that stop sign, go past. By the time we got to, like we was like 3 blocks from where we saw the car at. He finally speak. He was like, that was his sister in the car. He said, man, I couldn't do that. I've been wanting to hit that B word since we were young. So I don't say that. I just drove to the block that I bust out laughing. And I'm like, boy, you crazy. So he's like, man, I can't wait to kill it. You know, he talking. So I was like, but let me just say this. Now that I think about it, we didn't do the things that they are doing today. You know, like that senseless killing that happened with those 2 young girls at the tire shop. You know, the guys opened the car door and they realized that the guy they wanted wasn't there, and they killed those 2 girls. You know, back then, you know, it was like, well, we beefing with this our enemy, this what it is. Because when you kill someone's family, you open the door for your family to be targets next. Now back to the story at hand. We make it back to the Magnolia Project. We get on Washington Willow. I turn left on Washington Avenue, go up Washington Avenue, turn right on Magnolia, go on the first driveway on the right side, which was Stone Driveway. We go in the back. I was like, look, man, we back in the project. It's task force day. Let's put the guns up. We put the guns up, and in the house we kept. And I was like, look, man, I don't want to be back in this project. You know, police hide, they jumping out, they wilding out, curly head, blue eyes, curly head around, man. Let's dip. Let's go out some girls. Female house. So he's like, all right, let's go. So when we got back in Stone Bravado, we pull out. We go around the driveway, come out on Magnolia. Now we facing Washington Avenue. We come down. My beeper go off. So I pull over. There was a payphone that was on the corner of Magnolia and Washington. Jump out, get on the payphone, talk to the female. As soon as I hang up, man, a 4-door Taurus pulled up. 4 white guys jump out with pumps. Put y'all hands up. I throw my hands up. OG Boobie Black throw his up. The man say, I told you put your hands up. OG Boobie Black got his hands, so he waved. My hands is up. I said, hey. I said, sir, he been shot. Part of his arm been shot off. So I'm thinking, like, man, I don't want this man to shoot. thinking he trying to reach for something, whatever. But now that I think back, the police back then were more patient than they are today, because, you know, if you think back how I'm explaining this situation, we both would have been killed, or for sure he would have been shot back. But the police, that's how they wilded out now, you know, with no patience, just shooting people. So, you know, they searched the truck, searched the stone ride, ran out there, made sure everything was clean, and, you know, they let us go. That's it for right now. Why?
Conducting guys when I rush. Automatic is like clutch. And splitting wings is a must. You buckers can't win. So tell your brands and repent. When you make it to hell, you tell the devil you were sent by niggas with choppers. Conduct down on Windows 10. Nobody can stop us. Superstars representing. I'm doing damage. Leaving niggas bruised and battered. We chopper bullets don't play. So how the fuck you gon' match? I give away before the cops arrive. Cause I be thugging for life. And I'm a soldier till the day I die. No ifs and ends. No when it was. When I spin that fucking pen, you better duck. I wish you love when them bullets fly. You can't hide from homicide. Won't hesitate to let them bullets penetrate. To aggravate my last nerve. Say I'm on an herb. Niggas know you heard. I'm leaving bodies on the curb.
Around the corner, dog, I think I